On the Radio is brought to you by Zurich Insurance, the perfect place to catch up with all things Melbourne. If you enjoy this content and want more inside access from the team, make sure you visit the club website.
Well, the Melbourne Football Club, they are on a roll and they're on their way to Perth this weekend to take on the West Coast Eagles, and it's great to be joined by Alan Richardson on the line right now. Alan, a very good morning to you.
Great to be here, guys.
Great to have you on the show this morning, Alan. From the outside looking in, it appears Melbourne is going at 100%. How do you view the start to the season internally?
Look, we're happy. We're really pleased with where we're at. We think the guys, whilst not getting everything on their own terms, given some of the opposition we've played, have been able to find a way. They've, when challenged, been able to. It almost looks like go to another gear, but some of the different strategies that we've been had thrown at us from opposition have certainly presented some challenges. But no, the guys have been able to work through that, so that's been really pleasing.
Did you feel like their interest levels really rise last week when you had a challenger coming at you in St Kilda?
Look, that would be a little bit disrespectful to some of the other opposition. I mean, We played the Bulldogs, who we played in the grand final in round one. There's been teams that played finals last year that, whilst not in the top 8 at this stage of the year, given we've only had 8 rounds, we think that those teams will probably emerge. And so there's been challenges every week, but we did look at this game. We acknowledged how well the Saints had been playing and some of the strong opposition they defeated. So we acknowledged that it was probably given form, they were at another level, and it was going to be a terrific challenge for us, and the boys responded accordingly.
Alan, how proud are you and the others, coaches and football admin there, of the leadership group driving the standards there? Again, from afar, it looks like the players all came back in excellent condition and are really driven in 2022.
Yeah, we're extremely proud. They are a terrific group, a great blend of challenge and care. Max probably typifies that. He's a person that he's pretty quick to put his arm around a young bloke, or even an experienced player if it is they need a bit of care, or if they've done something really well. He's equally quick to jump on something that's potentially been a little bit sloppy. I don't know whether you remember back in the JLT respect for umpires game where we gave away 8 50-metre penalties, and straight after the game you walk in the rooms and the players are down doing a plank. He's very good like that, and he's got a great group around him that got a taste of what winning looks like last year, and they want to do it again. And so, that they leave no stone unturned. They're an absolute pleasure to work with, and you're right, we are really proud of them.
How does it feel internally this year compared to last year, admitting that last year you hadn't achieved the ultimate? This year you are defending the title, but you were 8-0. Are you able to draw comparisons?
It's a very good question, and we always start our reviews on the Monday morning. We look at ourselves as a coaching group. How did we go? And we've asked that question about how are we going? How do we feel like the team is performing? How do we feel like we've set the environment for our guys to be the best version of themselves? And there is a lot of similarities, but the biggest difference is, even though you can't take away last year's premiership, you hear the line that we're defending a premiership. Well, you're actually not defending the premiership, because it never gets taken away from you. But it just feels like that a little bit, that you're a little bit more hunted. That although last year was a really positive start, when you start 9-0, that sort of happens anyway, because you're playing such strong footy that opposition not only focus on themselves as they normally would, but they probably go to another level in terms of trying to take something away. They've probably looked a little bit deeper, and so we constantly refocus on us as opposed to getting caught up in, right, we're going to get hunted and here's what they're going to try and do to us. And whilst we acknowledge it's happening, we don't get caught up in that. We just continue to bring the coaching back and the leadership back to what works for us. What we've got a method that suits our personnel. Let's keep focusing on that. And I think, so far that's been that's kept us in good shape.
Alan, you've had your challenges behind the ball in regards to personnel, but you wouldn't know it.
No, we're really pleased with what the boys have done. It was early, it was Tomlinson, although unfortunately he's gone back out of the team when Harrison Petty came back. Salem's still not in the team, but Brayshaw's gone back and done a really good job for us. Obviously, Luva didn't play early, and that was probably his most encouraging performance for the year on the weekend. So we think he's heading the right way. And as the guys get a little bit more synergy through playing together, we think behind the ball will only get stronger. It's a real strength of our team. There's no doubt about that. A bit like what West Coast has been like for such a long time. If you can get that part of your ground right, it can cover some cracks and it can keep you in games when you're losing a bit of momentum. And then if it becomes assertive, it can be a real aggressive offensive weapon. And that's what those boys can do. So, no, we're really pleased with the way we've been able to cover back there. It's provided opportunity. Smithy was one that came in and helped us, and now, unfortunately for him, he's going to miss a bit of footy. But no, there's some depth there, which is pleasing, and it's important to us because defence and contest are basically all we focus on, and it can be challenging when you lose personnel, but they've done a great job.
You come back to the ground where you had great success in the back part of last year, beating West Coast and then also winning the two finals over here. How excited are the group to get back and relive some of the memories of late 21?
Well, the memories of late 21 are good, but the West Coast game was a weird one, wasn't it? With the Lightning, and we went into the sheds feeling pretty good about where the game sat, and then we went to sleep when we came back out. West Coast went to another level, so we're probably not going to reflect on that one too much. The back end of the year was just amazing. Our whole footy club, not just our footy team, embraced Perth. We were pretty keen to get over there as early as we could and make it our hub, and it was just an amazing experience. We loved the ground. We loved the atmosphere of the ground. It's arguably the best stadium in the country, and we really enjoyed it, and the boys are looking forward to getting back. We actually get over a day earlier than we normally would. Part of that is Virgin are having some issues with staff and pilots, and because of COVID, and so we've just got to adjust, which is not unlike we've had to do for a couple of years. But it's good. It'll be good for our boys, particularly our Perth boys, for Cozzy and Jacko and Riv and Toby Bedford. If it is he makes the squad to get over and spend some time with family. But you're right, there's a lot of fond memories in Perth.
Yeah, understandably. So West Coast has had a challenging start to the season here. Obviously, there's been some issues on field, issues off field. How much of that has filtered through over there to the eastern states?
I know we're very aware. Yeah, no, they've had a really torrid time. There's no doubt about that. It'd be incredibly challenging. You mentioned about some of the issues that we'd had early in the year down back. Well, they've had that across every line. They had that amazing victory in Melbourne against us. I'm pretty sure it was against the Pies, wasn't it? Where
yes.
It was as young a team as they've had, and they started to get a few back, but it just appeared. These are Simo's issues, not ours, but they just didn't have the synergy. They just didn't have the connection, and I imagine that'll come. We'll do whatever we can to make sure that it doesn't come this week. We have enormous respect for the players that they still have out on the paddock and for the organisation. So we're preparing for West Coast at their best.
And just one more very quick one before we do let you go, Alan. You touched on Max Gawn driving the standards earlier on. Is he going to be over here? Because we know that he did get sent for a check-up earlier on in the week. That came back all clear, but he'll be right to go?
Yeah, look, the scan was all good. And that was particularly looking at his PCL. Fine,
yep.
All clear. But he did get a knock, so it'll just depend a little bit on training. But we expect him to be fine. yeah, we're certainly not in the mindset of, we're not hunting for opportunities to rest players. Far from it. We believe really strongly on connection and synergy, and if there's people below Max in the ruck position, then we want them. We really like them having to fight for their position as opposed to, looking to rest players because we're 8-0. That's not the space we're in. So if he's right and trains well today, then like everyone else, he'll be ready to go.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing him over here. We're looking forward to seeing Melbourne over here for the first time since the grand final last year. All the very best. Safe travel, Alan. Great to be able to chat to you this morning.
Good on you guys. Thanks for the chat.